So he's like, woohoo! It's a me! Let's go!
I was sitting alone in my room watching the most recent trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, because what else do you do on a Thursday night? And while watching, I began to focus on one man, Chris Pratt, a name that has recently been dragged through the mud by many fans of the Mario franchise. He was cast as Mario in the upcoming Mario Bros. Movie, and he will be the voice of the beloved Italian plumber, whether you love him, you hate him, or you are him. Mario's voice as we know it now is the iconic voice of Charles Martinet, the man who has been voicing Mario, Luigi, Wario and Waluigi for over 25 years. But as we all know, Mario's voice is very high-pitched, it's very whimsical and...
Let's go! Mamma mia!
Italian. Chris Pratt's voice is not really any of those. So is Chris Pratt really a good choice for Mario? You can give your opinion in the comments below, but only if you agree with me. First of all, it's not a good sign when this is how people reacted to you being cast as Mario.
Who will be played by Chris Pratt.
What?
He's so cool. Mario will be talking a lot in the movie, making an appearance. He will be played by...
And all I've been seeing towards Pratt is mixed to negative feelings and the occasional compliment on his voiceover of the character. From the snippets of the movie we've seen, all of the voice cast seem to perfectly play their roles. Jack Black as Bowser, Charlie Day as Luigi, they managed to make Seth Rogen a good voice for Donkey Kong. His voice went from to a more defined
Now you die.
Anya Taylor-Joy being cast as a strong, determined Peach is brilliant casting work as well. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad? I can't believe I'm saying it, but it works. I couldn't believe how he pulls off a not annoying Toad voice. I didn't think that could happen. So with all this in mind, what's the complaint against Chris Pratt? From what I've seen from other people's opinions, Chris Pratt doesn't suit this role for 3 reasons. 1, he doesn't change his voice that much. 2, in interviews he doesn't seem too interested. And 3, he isn't Charles Martinet. Firstly, his voice acting. Chris Pratt isn't exactly known for his extraordinary voiceover talents. Hell, he got the Lego Movie job because he was playing the role of most generic white man. And aside from the Lego Movie, his voiceover resume is not very impressive, except he's apparently going to be Garfield in an upcoming movie. Mario is loved by kids and adults around the world. His character has been set in stone for so long that any slight changes would definitely feel weird. And now he's got a new voice actor, and that is more than a slight change. But is it really that fair to judge Chris Pratt purely off the trailers? But originally, I admit, I did not like his voice in the trailers. Until the most recent one, where I think I'm starting to get used to it, unless it's just some Chris Pratt Jedi mind trick. I mean, it's no Mamma Mia, here we go, but it's not like a horrifically bad voice either, like that one was. What was that? Besides, Chris Pratt has shown that he can actually do that Mario voice that Charles Martinet does. So if the people behind the movie really wanted him to do that, I'm sure he would have. Secondly, the interviews. The Mario cast have done a lot of interviews and TV spots and even showed up at the Game Awards with our favourite Bill Clinton supporter.
To my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Jack Black even dressed up as Bowser.
Were you excited to play Bowser?
Yeah.
But often Chris Pratt's just sort of there in the interviews, trying his best to promote the movie while also getting it mixed up with Marvel. I know Chris Pratt for 2 things, right? Bland Lego Man and Marvel Boy, so of course he's going to mess up things. All he's been thinking about his entire career is Marvel Comics. I do admit it is funny trying to see him relate to people who actually play Mario.
Man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
Now, people are picky, and look, I get it. I'm not a big Chris Pratt fan either. I think he's the safest choice the studio could have went with. But he's got voice acting a protagonist under his belt, and especially in a movie that was heavily praised, so I can see why the casting director would choose him. He's got a marketable voice that sounds expressive enough to make a character likeable, even if Pratt himself doesn't know much about stomping
Koopas.
Finally, the last point. He's not Charles Martinet. Let's be real, we all wish we were. But we love Charles Martinet, of course we do. He carried these iconic characters on his back for so long, so why was he not cast as Mario? Let me take you down the Mario voice actor rabbit hole. Mario's first ever voice actor is thought to be Toru Furuya, a Japanese actor who voiced Mario in the 1989 PSA video Super Mario's Fire Brigade. The PSA video was only ever released in Japan. Thank goodness it was. Furuya also voiced a couple of other videos and a Japan-exclusive Mario movie before Charles Martinet got the iconic role for Western audiences in Super Mario the Pinball Game. Super Mario the Pinball Game. This was Martinet's first ever role as Mario. A pinball game released in 1992, 4 years before Mario 64 even hit the shelves. Of course, Mario 64 was Martinet's first ever official start as Mario because it's the first one he was ever credited in, and he's been voicing the plumber ever since. But those two have not been the only two voices of Mario.
I hope she made lots of spaghetti.
Luigi, look! It's from Bowser!
I hope you can tell, this is not Charles Martinet. This is actually the voice of Mark Grau, the voice of Mario, Luigi and Bowser in Hotel Mario. Now this game has gotten its fair treatment of attention from the internet, but after looking up Grau's IMDb page, he apparently makes an appearance in GTA 5 as a citizen, just one of the random people you can run over in your Ford Fiesta. So this video of Mario in the GTA universe is canon. Hooray! Then the Super Mario Bros. Super Show had Lou Albano play Mario.
I'm telling you, if you're not watching the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, you're gonna turn into a Goomba!
The original Mario movie from 1993, which was live action, had Bob Hoskins play Mario. In non-Nintendo appearances, Hank Azaria has voiced Mario, Matthew Lillard has voiced Mario, even the Family Guy man Seth MacFarlane has voiced Mario. You probably voiced Mario at some point in your life. So what's this all got to do with Chris Pratt? I believe it's okay to not have Martinet voice Mario in this movie, because he's the perfect voice for a video game, Super Mario. We know that this movie will have its emotional moments, and although Martinet has done sad Mario bits in the past, he's never really given speeches as the character in the games. And if he did in this movie, the modern cinema critic would not take it very seriously. Despite how much I would personally love it, I would love to hear Charles Martinet do some movie acting. The entire reason why a Super Mario movie would be so hard to write is because of the little amounts of dialogue Mario would realistically have. I think Martinet would have done a good job if he was cast, but in the current movie climate, it's the big names that really get people going to see the movie. More parents know Chris Pratt's name than they know Charles Martinet's name. And sadly, when people are casting for these movies, that's the type of thing that they look for. This doesn't mean Chris Pratt's taking all this for granted. In interviews, he's shown his respect to Martinet, and whether you know much about the franchise or not, you kind of have to respect a man who has voiced the character for like 20 years. Plus, Martinet will actually be in the movie. We don't know who he'll be playing yet, but at least the casting people didn't leave him out of the project entirely. I guess we'll have to see whether Chris Pratt's excellent voiceover talents will be successful or not. In the meantime, let's just be glad that we didn't get this version of Wario.
And did Mario have a dark side?
Yes, he started eating mushrooms.